Good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm Wayne. Welcome to Wednesdays with Wayne. Today we're going to do something a little differently than we've ever done before. We're going to do what I call show and tell. So I'm going to show you and tell you what I've been doing. I'm in two developments right now. One's between 37 and 40 million. The other one is going to be 60 to 70 million. But I didn't get here overnight. So what I want to show you is how I got started and how you can start very slowly, very simply, low risk, decent returns, and how you can get started. And I think if you can get started and just get one deal under your belt, then you'll get some confidence and have a process and see how this works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you and tell you how I got started in MLS. And so when I say that insider trading is legal, of course, the people who don't care for me much or my message say I'm breaking the rules or I'm breaking the law and all this crazy nonsense. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And what I mean by that in real estate is you have access to MLS. And the reason I call it insider trading, it's a tongue-in-cheek comment, but it's also true because this information is not available to the public. It's only available to realtors who are licensed, who join the local board. And the local board offers a multiple listing service that you pay dues to belong to. So you pay to be a member of this club, and the public doesn't have access to this. Realtors do. This is where most realtors put their listings, and then after they go under, so you have all this status, right? So these are active listings, and then they'll go under contract and you need to report the status. Then they'll be pending and closed, and sometimes they're withdrawn because the seller gets tired of the process because they've been overpriced and undermarketed. Sometimes the listing term will expire, so they die. They're called expired listings. They're just dead for the same reasons, typically overpriced, undermarketed. So you have all this information. And what's really important is this right here, is the close price. Because you can ask, as a seller, you can ask whatever you want. The question is, what it sell for? So if we look at the definition of fair market value, what we know is that it is defined as what a seller would sell for and what a buyer would pay, neither being under duress. Well, I'm looking for duress. So, as I said before, a business has three purposes. The first is to give you your life. So go design your life, or someone will be happy to do it for you. The second is to solve a problem, and the third is to add value. To solve the problem part is what I'm looking for. So what I'm looking for in here are distressed properties. I don't want something that's brand new or that's been totally remodeled, that's priced at retail. There are two ways to make money. There's actually several ways, but the two main ways to make money in real estate is it's when you buy it. So your profit's made when you buy. And if you pay too much and borrow too much, there's nothing anyone can do for you when the market corrects, like it's just done and like it's doing right now. So what we're going to see in here, hopefully, are some properties that are distressed. So I'm looking for a problem property. I like property that needs to be repaired. People have, for some reason, I don't know why, decided to make this huge purchase and then not maintain it. And it's not just lack of maintenance, but also it's often neglect and sometimes abuse. And you find these people out there, I don't know what their mental state is, probably not good, because they abuse their families, they abuse their houses, they abuse their vehicle, they just abusive people. And they're not mentally stable in my mind, because you should be able to grow things and maintain things and make things better in your presence, not worse. So what we're going to find is these people out there who, for some reason, bought these really nice homes and then either neglected or abused them. and then they typically struggle financially, and those are their problems, not ours. The point is, these homes are going to sell. They're going to trade. They're going to sell. So you might as well be the buyer. In most of these cases, the sellers want to sell for as much as they can and not tell us anything about the property. It's called caveat emptor, buyer beware. They're supposed to fill out and sign a seller's disclosure agreement. Okay, fine. I've learned over the years that just because it's in writing doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's in writing doesn't mean it's true. And just in case you didn't hear me, just because it's in writing doesn't mean it's true. So I question everything. Sellers don't want to sell for the most, make the fewest amount of concessions, and not tell me anything about the property. For the most part. That's not a blanket indictment of every seller. But it's buyer beware. So I'm going to beware. Buyers, on the other hand, want to pay the least, get the most amount of concessions, pay the least, get the most amount of concessions from the seller, and find out everything they can about the property. That's why we have option periods, due diligence. So having said all that, what that means to you and me is the buyers and the sellers are 180 degrees diametrically opposed from the outset. So this is not about being friends, or, we're not joining the country club. Our wives and husbands aren't having dinner together. Our kids aren't playing together. We want to pay the least. This is an investment. We're going to put capital at risk, take on some debt, and this is an investment. So this is the approach. We want a problem property with a problem seller that's distressed that we can put a minimal amount into and get the most amount out of. So that's the mindset from my point of view when I go into this MLS system to search for properties. I'm looking for stuff that's in trouble, problem property and or problem sellers. If I can get both, that would be great. The last few properties that Lynn and I bought were distressed properties. One case, the husband and wife got together and went into collusion with each other and bought this beautiful home and spent too much money on it and got in a cat fight, got divorced, and gave it back to the bank. And 6 months later, the bank got it saleable and we bought it. It happens often. Most of my deals have come from MLS. The two developments I'm in right now were sitting in MLS. And I looked at them and I thought, let me go do some research and see if these deals are viable. So it's just a great way, one of many ways I found to find deals. There's several others, and if you want, I'll tell you and show you what those are as well. So here's where I start. To me, it's a mindset. I understand the market is under a little bit of compression right now and the reason is because, again, I think we need a technical business and financial education in order to succeed. We need all three. So this is the financial part. Most people don't have a financial education and they don't understand the power of money, so they don't respect it or treat it with the respect it deserves. That's why they run out of it. So because most people buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they don't know, they acquire, and because they've been lied to and misled so much, and this is what I think Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Robert Kiyosaki has done so much good in educating people about the simple basics of money, investing, and finance. I mean, if you can just grasp the concept and agree with the concept that an asset feeds you and a liability eats you. Assets feed you by putting cash flow in your pocket. Liabilities eat you by taking it out. It's that simple concept that should make you a multimillionaire. That's all you need to know. Is that when you pull the money out of your pocket, just ask yourself a simple question. And am I buying an asset that feeds me or a liability that eats me? That's all you need to know. Anything else, you're just making it complicated for yourself. It's that simple. And so then if you acquire enough assets, then your assets pay for your liabilities. Your investments pay for your luxuries. Your investments pay for your consumption. And most people consume and then they never invest. I'm not saying don't consume. You should buy a huge house. You should have a nice, big, fancy, sporty, European, expensive luxury car. You should have all that stuff. The question is, how do you pay for it? And most people mortgage their whole future because they buy this doodah and this stuff that depreciates in value. The value decreases every day and it doesn't produce cash flow. So it sucks all the income right out of their pocket. So we'll go into all this later. I just want to show you that despite the fact that the market has corrected, the underlying fundamentals in Central Texas are strong. This economy hasn't changed because interest rates went up. The underlying economic fundamental principles are still here. Huge companies are moving here. They're bringing people and or hiring people. So this is not a bubble. It's not a bubble that's burst. This market is going to be going on for another decade or two at least. Just look at who's moving to Central Texas. And so because people have misspent their money, they don't have borrowing capacity. So when rates go up, they're out of the market because they're interest rate sensitive, because they're limited to a ratio of income to debt, right? You can only spend so much, allocate so much of your income towards debt. They've allocated it toward bad debt. So there's bad debt and there's good debt. Real estate is good debt. Automobile is bad debt. Good debt creates cash flow. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. As I said last week, the bank's loaned me $5 million. They never asked me for my report card. That's hilarious. So those of you realtors that are watching, if you're so proud of your exam score, the fact that you passed a state exam, don't worry about it because that guarantees you nothing. That means nothing to the marketplace. The only thing pass rates mean anything to is the schools that promote them. They want to mislead you with the untrue statement that pass rates are important. They're not. They guarantee you nothing. They didn't in junior high, they didn't in high school, they didn't in college, and they don't today. The score now, today, your scorecard is your P&L and your balance sheet and your cash flow statement. These are the adult versions of a report card. They tell you how well you've mastered the subjects of technical, business, and financial education. That's the report card. It's not about what the government tells you, how much you memorized on a test. It's how well you can apply it and put it to use. Your balance sheet is your report card. Assets, liabilities, net worth. This is how you build wealth and create more net worth. Acquiring real estate. So I think what we're going to see here when we get into this is that prices are starting to decline. This presents an opportunity. So we'll go through this and I'll tell you what I'm looking for. And this is how I got started in 1987. Found this property in MLS. 16 units. 2 blocks from University of Texas on Nueces Street. And of course, people told me I was crazy for buying a multifamily building in the middle of a recession. And what I learned is that you cannot afford to follow the crowd because the crowd is usually wrong. Anyway, we bought it and we're glad we did. I bought it for $90,000 and sold it for $900 20 years later. So, and been buying ever since. And what I'm looking for, again, problem property, the problem seller. So I'm looking for something distressed. So here's the criteria. And I'll just walk through what I'm looking for when I go into this system to see what's out there. So the first thing I do is I'm just looking for active property right now. Ultimately, once I find one or two or a few I like, I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna click, I'm gonna click this, closed, and go figure out what they're selling for in this area. But for now, I just want to see what's on the market. So I'm gonna click active. I'm not concerned about this active, under contract, or pending, or I don't want to fool with these. I just want to see what's active. And as you can see over here, I could put in a street number, a street name, a city, county. I'm more interested in MLS areas. So this is 10 North, that's South Austin, Georgetown East, Georgetown West, Cedar Park, Leander North, Cedar Park, Leander South, and Lake North. So these are the areas we'll poke around in. I just want to put enough in there to get kind of I could take this out, I could take that out. That'd probably give us plenty. And then, as you can see down here, I don't know if you can see this, it tells us how many matches there are. So it's 1,692 properties are in these 4 MLS areas. So then we'll just click on results and see what comes up. Once we get in here, I sorted these by price per square foot. So this is highest, and this is lowest to highest. So the first property we have here is this one on Grand Mesa. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, no half baths, 2-car garage, 2 living, built in 2012. This is the acreage, square footage of the home, nice size. 3,300 feet for $132 a foot. That's incredible that you can buy a house that's only 10 years old for $132 a foot. It's amazing. So let's click on this and go look at this house. So if you can't see this, raise your hand. Here's the property. Look at this. Reduced. So it was, here's the list price. So here's what I look for. The first thing I look for is the current price and the former price. So here the house was $605,000. Now it's $439,000. So how much is that? What's the amount of decrease? Well, let's see. Take 605 minus 439, $166,000. That's a 25% decrease in price. The next thing I look at is days on market. So you have active days and cumulative days. The active days is the number of days with this particular broker. So if they've listed it for a few months with one broker and they decide the broker was the problem, when they are really the problem, they change brokers, this tells you how many days total cumulatively it's been on the market. So this sucker's been sitting here for 222 days. The next thing I look for is the occupant. So this home is vacant. It's been sitting for 222 days. It's got a 25% price reduction. Then I look at the comments. And the comments are here. And they go on and on about the house. For questions, call this person. For financing options and to qualify for a $2,500 lender credit, direct your buyer to there. Schedule a showing, get access, use showing time. Home is vacant. To check offer status, access necessary documents, blah, 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 blah. Tells you where to close it. Listing agent will not be present. FHA eligible. Okay, fine. So who owns this thing? It looks like Open Door owns it. Okay, good. There it is. Nice. I don't know if that's staged, physically staged or virtually staged. It looks virtual. I don't think that rug is real. Might be. They're really getting good at these virtual stage. There it is, virtually staged. Hello, just read, Wayne. Nice. Looks clean. Nice big tub. Yard could use a little work. Maybe it's just gone dormant for the winter. I don't know. Not much in the way of landscaping. Looks like we've got a little fence problem over here. But hey, 132 bucks a foot. Nice hard tile floors. Nice big kitchen, big island. Looks pretty clean. Nice formal dining. Carpet looks in decent shape. Nice upstairs living room. 4 bedrooms. It's been winterized. They turn off the water and prepare for freeze. I guess they're planning on holding this one a while. Nice. Not sure what's behind it. We can look and see. There it is. Go over here. I'm up here now in this corner. You can click on a map. So tell me where it's located. So here's downtown Georgetown. Highway 130. This is off to the east. There's Interstate 35 there. This is University Boulevard in Georgetown. Terra Vista Community. So this is what you saw over the fence, was these power lines is what I saw in the background through that fence. So no neighbors across the back. Got a little easement here, and then a little power substation back there. That's it. Interesting. Let's go look at the next one. This one's on Ruthie. This was priced at $571. Now it's $506. Vacant. Oh, Open Door owns this one. 64 days on the market. Same comments. $3,700 feet, $134 a foot. This is incredible. 135. You can't build, I don't know. I don't think you can buy that lot and build that house for $134 a foot. This is amazing. 3,800 square foot, that's a big house. .144, small lot. This is, I don't know, what is that, 8,000 feet? 4 bedroom, 2 full baths, 1 half bath, 1 living, 1 dining, 2-story, built in 2001. Let's look at these pictures. Nice. Brick. Decent. Corner fireplace. Is that virtually staged? Yes. But look at that. Pretty good sized master. 3,800 feet. Nice sitting area. Looks to be in good shape. Nice kitchen, big island. There it is, vacant. Nice floors. Master bath looks nice. It's like they got some armadillos in the backyard here. Not sure why this is all gravel. This is some handyman project gone awry. But you could certainly do something fun with this backyard. I mean, you could add a deck to this back of this house, tie it into this pad. Instead of having to come down this way, come straight out into the yard. This would be a great area for a nice deck. Look at this, 100% brick. This is incredible, 100% brick, $134 a foot. 2001, so a 21-year-old house. Wow, it's amazing. $135 a foot. Looks to be pretty decent shape. Interesting. You want to see another one? Please say yes. Okay, here's another one. Cliffwood. Let me guess. Open Door. Okay, now I'm seeing a pattern. Open Door bought a bunch of property. They paid retail for it, and now they're dumping them. $495,000. This is my guess. $495,000. Been on the market for 3 months. Reduced it to $445,000. Same comments. So you look at price reduction, days on cumulative days on market, occupant, vacant, and comments. Cottontail. I'm just going to go straight to it. Oh, this is an individual owner. So this was been on the market for 98 days. Started at $465. Now it's $420. Interesting. There's Ashbury. $145 a foot. 5-bedroom. 2,500 feet. Three and a half baths. 1 dining, 1 living. Started off at $386. Now it's $373. So they know they've got to move south, but that $386 to $373 is what, $13,000? Not going to move the needle much. This is another Open Door property. It's vacant. Okay, now I'm curious. Who's Open Door? Okay, let's see who opened this door. Who's Open Door? Open Door went public in December 2020. Open Door generated $8 billion in annual revenue in 2021 and reached its first ever profitable quarter in Q1 2022. Open Door Investment Management was founded in 2011 by Kei Shifeng and his business partner, veteran investors in Greater China, and possess considerable experience and expertise with Greater China equities, having worked together since 1997. So this is the news on Open Door. Market is uncertain about Open Door's recovery ahead. Over the next 4 years, Open is expected to report revenue growth 34.35% while continuing to record unprofitability at the same time. Investors must note these numbers notably represent a massive decline in estimates by 21.3% since June 2022. That's an August 23rd, 2022 news article. Will the stock recover? According to 19 analysts, the average rating for Open stock is buy. The 12-month stock forecast is 655, which is an increase, blah, 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 blah. Can I trust Open Door? Is Opendoor legitimate? Yes, Opendoor is legit. It's a real estate company that buys homes for cash. It's available in 47 markets. Opendoor's fees represent their carrying and resale costs. After all, the business model is to turn around and sell your house. Are they losing money? Yes, but it disputes how much. What happened? Shares fell after FTC announced the firm settled allegations over misleading potential home sellers in its marketing campaigns. Okay. So they own a bunch of homes and they paid more on them more for them than they're worth. The question now is, how badly do they want to sell? So if they pay cash for all these, if you had a normal single person seller, like this character, say Pinerio, well, I shouldn't probably show his name, but I did, so whatever. If these folks went and took out a mortgage and put 10% down and they owe, $350, $380, whatever on this house, they can only come down so much. Even if they walk away with zero net profit, they can't go below that because they'll be writing a check to sell it. They may be selling it. I don't know why. Part of my market research would be to find out why. I always ask why. The two deals I'm in now, I ask why. Why are you selling? And the answers were telling and helpful. But they expressed that they were motivated sellers. They were more than interested in selling. They were motivated. They wanted to get out of these properties. So even if the means or the motivation is high to get out, if the means are not available to get out, in other words, if they can't write a check, then they're stuck here. My point is, on the other hand, if Opendoor paid cash, they can negotiate this price, and so should you. So if it were me, I would start with something small like this one, $373,000, nice and easy. Cute little house. This would make a great rental. Nice. Let's see where it is. There it is. There's Georgetown. There's Highway 29, 130, 35, Inner Loop, Southwestern Boulevard. This is a great location right there in the heart of Georgetown. Great location. Here's University Park. There's the park. This is very cool. Built in 2007, $145 a foot. Yeah. That's a nice little property. Look at this one. 14380 Hero Way, $350,000. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, almost 2,400 feet. You see this, right? $147 a foot. Almost more than a half acre. Look at this. There's a cute little house. Cute little country house. Nice trees. Grass needs a little work. Deck looks like it needs a little work. See this at the bottom? This is that Hardy board that they made back in the 80s. It didn't last long. So it needs a little work. See it coming off here? So we got your classic vacant fixer-upper. As soon as they start showing you the pools and the trees, it's a distraction. This is called don't look at the house. A little shed out there, a little barn. There you go. They don't want you to see much. There's only 5 photos. Like, don't show them the house. Don't show them the house. Do not show them. Let's see where this is. So here's our map. Oh, this is great. This is great. It's on 2243. This is commercial space. You can buy this as a residential home and hold it. Put a tenant in there to pay for it for you. Look at this. There's Leander right there. So here's 183A. Here's the old 183. There's downtown Leander. This is right out Hero Way. This is a buy, put a tenant in it, hold it, sell it down the road for a commercial. Look at that. What a great, $350,000. Let's see who owns this. Patsy Parker. Well, Patsy, it's vacant, $458,000. It started at $458,036, and only 36 days. This has been reduced to 100 and, what is that, 340? Interesting. Almost $100,000 in reduction in 36 days. I think this is the one that I would be tempted to make an offer on. So this is how I find deals, and then I start writing offers. So hopefully that helps. This is what I do. Go on to MLS, I look for these deals and see if I can find them. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that helps. I'll finish my comments like this, if that's okay. So yeah, I would make an offer on this. This would be, if I were looking for something like this to buy and hold, I think I would start at probably 300. So here's what I would suggest you do. First of all is go find a lender and see and find out how much you can qualify for. What is your borrowing capacity? How much can you borrow from a lender? That's first thing. If you need a lender and don't have one, email me and I'll connect you with a really good lender who's a broker who will place that loan where it needs to go to get you funded. That's one. Find out your borrowing capacity. If you're serious about taking advantage of this correction in the market, as I said, the underlying fundamentals are good to me. I'm excited. If you look at all the noise and all the stuff and everything going on out there about the economy and the sky falling, it's just noise and chatter and nonsense, because the underlying basic economic principles, fundamentals are still here. You have this called supply, demand, price. The demand is still here. Interest rates didn't liquidate demand. They tamped it down because people got priced out of the market, because for most people who are on fixed incomes, price is everything. Now, the price of the home matters. If you can spend $2,000 for a house at 3% and interest rates go to 8%, you're priced out of the house. I mean, your payment just doubled and almost tripled. So it makes sense that you're on the sidelines until rates come back down, or until you get more cash, or until you figure out some way to make that payment affordable. And to most people, it's interest rate driven. It's the way Americans consume. It's not how much, it's how much a month. If you can make me like it and figure out a way to cram and help me figure out a way to cram it into my budget, I'll take it. And if you look at most of the marketing, it's designed that way. It's all this flash and trash, and it's zero down, no payments for a year, 72 months now on cars, no payments, 2-year financing, interest free. I mean, it's amazing. how people don't understand, unfortunately, how to use the power of money and how to leverage it and use it as a tool. So anyway, go get your borrowing capacity figured out. If you got a good credit score, if you're north of 725, 750, and you got cash, this is a shoe-in. If you don't have cash, go raise it. You can always go raise money. So you need 2 buckets of cash. You'll need the debt and you'll need a down payment, also called equity. So if you don't have the down payment or the equity, just go borrow it. You have 2 borrowing buckets. You borrow the debt, you borrow the equity. And if you can perform this, what you can do, if you want, we can do that next week. I'll show you how to run analysis on a property like this. But you should be able to see what's that going to do? If you can buy that thing for $300,000, let's say you put 20% down, which is 60. So you need to raise, if you have no cash at all, which is fine, because if you're doing if you start doing these deals, you're going to run out of cash fairly quickly. Because once you get into this and used to it and seeing how to find them, you're going to find that you're going to have more deals than you have cash to close on. So you're going to need a line of credit or some way to get liquid to take that, to create that equity. And I say create because it is created. Money is created. And when we're taught to exchange labor for money, that's a old 1960s, 70s, 80s idea that's obsolete now. You don't exchange labor for money. You're never going to get there. What I mean by there is financially independent working. It's just not going to happen. Create it. Money is created. You take an idea and you create it. And then wealth is built over time. And I've gone over my definition of wealth with you. I'll do it again. Wealth is the ability to survive blank number of days into the future. So if you stop working today, didn't lower your standard of living, and didn't sell all your stuff, how many days in the future could you survive financially? That's your wealth. Write the number in the blank. And that's your school system for you. So we're taught to get a good job and work hard for money, but we're not taught how to be lazy, that hard work is an overrated activity, how to build a business that works so we don't have to, and how to create wealth. We're not taught those. That's why we teach them. So if you took the 300, you put 60,000 down, you got a $240,000 mortgage. Let's just run this. Present value on that is PV. Let's say you get, I don't know, let's just say it's 8% loan. 8%, you get that for 360 months. Your payment's $1,761. I'm looking for the taxes. The tax rate. Tax rate, 2.3798, 2.4 times 2. Probably $2,500. If you can rent that thing for $2,500, that might be tough to do. Let's say you rented it for $2,000, $1,500. You know, I bought properties before where I knew they would have a negative, but I had the cash flow to cover it, and I wanted the property because long term, I thought the prospects of it were going to be good. This is one of those types of deals. You could buy this. You can go buy a new car, which is going to cost you $1,000 a month. Or you could buy this property, put 60 down, acquire this asset, get a tenant in there to pay $1,500 of it, assuming it's $2,500, and you pay the other $1,000. And you just come up with $1,000 a month. And you subsidize this payment. Again, you know, the only time you borrow is when someone else pays it back. So you put a tenant in there to help you pay this debt and sit and wait. And of course, I have no idea. That's not true. I do have an idea, but I'm not sure. But if this is that close to downtown Leander and it's on 2243, which is a commercial road, I think in 10 years, you might be glad you own this. It could be as little as 5, but I would count on 10. If you don't want to do that, then go look at these open door listings and find one of those that strikes your fancy and buy one that's priced in the lower price range. Just remember, your profit's made when you buy. So I'm back looking at the screen again. I've saw something shiny I liked. So here's another one. What was $575 is now $499, so $75,000 reduction. This is independent owner, so they're all most of them are reducing these properties. Here's one on Meadow Park. Was $359, still $359. Well, guess why? They're still happy. They still think it's actually worth that. So they're, woo, we're going to sell a house. I know you're not. But they're in the honeymoon phase, so let's leave them to it. And we'll see what happens to that. But it's not something that we want to get into. We've got to wait till they've been in pain long enough to come to reality. Same with this one. As you can see here, 7 days on the market. Started at $395. Of course, they're still in the honeymoon phase here, so we'll leave that one alone. We want one that's been sitting there for a while, where the seller has realized that they have a DDL on their hands. That's a DDL is what we call a dead dog loser. So this is another independent owner, not open door or corporately. It's not a relocation property or corporate owned. It's a private individual. 126 days. So they've been at this for a while. 10 months. No. 5 months. 4 months. 500,000, still at 500,000 4 months later. Here's one on Toltec. Started at 565, down to 498. Here's one on Grand Junction. Started at 550, down to 450. That's a $100,000 swing. This one's only $153 a month. I'm sorry, $153 a foot. So now we're kind of getting a feel for what the market's doing. So here's one on Vanderhill. Started off at 469.9, down to 425. So these are no longer an open door. So we burned through the open door for the most part. So they were the lowest price per square foot. So it looks like they're getting aggressive with their pricing. This one's 445, started at 625. This is an open door property, as you can see right here. 159 days, started at 625, down to 445. That's what? Holy mackerel. 625 to 445. That's a big jump. That's a big reduction. Almost 3,000 feet, $154 a foot. Wow. What, $175,000? The size of this thing. Look, it's virtually staged. Nice. Look at this house. These are incredible. 445. So where's the pent up? Look at the, oh, that's virtual. That doesn't look real. I'd have to see this. That might be real, but it doesn't look real to me. Nice. So the pent-up demand, you know, everybody that wanted to buy, that can't buy, they become tenants. So you have real companies still moving here. with real jobs for real people who need real houses that don't exist. Or exist, but they've been priced out because of interest rates, because our government's so well run. Don't even get me started. You know the Federal Reserve isn't federal, right? And it doesn't have any reserves. Okay, just so we're clear. Wow, interesting. That's a nice property. 154 bucks a foot. So what I would do is, where is this? This is in La Cantera, section 1. So what I would do is, let's see if I can do this real quick. I'll tell you what my next step would be. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back here to criteria. I'm going to put in subdivision. I'm going to get rid of all this. And get rid of that and go to closed. No matches. See that? Active, see I clicked active, there are 2 active. None closed. Let's see if there are any under contract. Nope. Any pending? Nope. Okay, let's go back to results. So this is the one we were looking at. Here's the other one that's in La Cantera, section 1. This was $479.9. It's 475. This is an individual owner. Let's see where this is located. So here's our map. Hopefully you can see this. Oh. This is great. This is in the same community as that first one. I don't know why it didn't show up. Because that one of the first ones we looked at was right here because that substation was in the background. So it's in the same area. I'm gonna do a CMA and I'm gonna figure out what everything in this area is selling for. If you can figure out, because there's going to be sales in this area. If you can't get any right in here, then you just broaden your scope. Eventually, if you have to come out here, you just make a wider circle till you get the comps you want. What you're looking for is something that's comparable to this. That's size, age, number of bedrooms, baths, and figure out what this home is worth. And the way we do that is what they've sold for. So I'm going to go back to criteria. We're still in Georgetown. I'm going to put this. I'm going to enter those 2 in. I'm going to take this out. This subdivision. See, now I have 2,200 matches. So now my criteria is too broad. So I'll go tweak this. I'm gonna reduce. I'm gonna get rid of this active, under contract, and pending. Now I'm gonna get rid of active. Now I've got 758 matches. So what I'll do is I would go create a map. you can do that quite simply. Just click on this function here, which is your map function. And then you go up to Georgetown, and I believe we were right in this area here somewhere. Anyway, I would go find it, and then I would put a map and would just draw this and just make a map and put everything in that map that's in that geographic area that's closed in the last 90 days. Look at those prices and compare them, the condition of the house, the age of the house, the size of the house, to the subject property, and see if I can, and that was how I attach value to that. And then here's the formula. You take your fair market value, and then you subtract 30%. And then you subtract repairs, if any. And that gives you your offering price. That's your sales price. So I would go get my fair market value and reduce it 30%, start writing offers. I would go to my lender and make sure that I'm pre-approved, not pre-qualified, but pre-approved, and just offer a really strong offer, but low price. Take 30% off. You should be able to close in 10 days. Do a 10-day close, subject to, title, approval of title, survey, everything, all your normal and customary things you can object to. Do a 10-day option period, 10-day close. And if you have a lender that can move that quickly, and you should, if you don't, let me know, and get prepared. So go get pre-approved, figure out your borrowing capacity, how much cash do you have, how much do you need, build a relationship with the lender. If you have one, great, go visit with them and tell them you're about to embark on an acquisition of assets campaign, and you're going to start buying properties that have been priced correctly. I think the prices that we're looking at, the former prices were the overheated market prices. Now we're looking at normal market prices. I think we want to get under that because we've got a little correction period to go yet. Demand is still there. The supply hasn't met it yet, but it's going to, just because demand has been paused because of interest rate increases. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's how I do this. I actually was surfing in MLS because when I get bored, that's what I do. Let's see what's on the market out there. That's how I found the properties that I'm involved in. I hope this helps. This has been Wednesdays with Wayne. Thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up. Hope this is helpful. A little show and tell sometimes helps. So this is not a lot of magic to it. It takes a little bit of work, and I know a lot of people that want to get rich till they find out how much work is involved, and they lose interest fairly quickly. So it takes some work. It takes an effort. It takes a team. So you want a good lender. You're going to need a good surveyor, a good appraiser, a good title company, admin if you have it, and go start buying these properties. I think there's some deals to be had out there, and just take your time and go through them. Okay, I'm gonna log out of here before I forget. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you next week, 9 a.m., Wednesdays with Wayne, and good luck in your business. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for showing up. Have a great week.